Robert Saleh said this yesterday about the system, Nate Hackett, and Zach Wilson. Take a listen.
Zach is actually playing pretty good. He's not. He's much better than he was a year ago. He is year one in a new system, a system that was, again, like I said, built for Aaron. Let's be real.
Okay.
And now we're trying to make a shift to get it to where everyone's comfortable with where we are.
All right, that's enough. Tiki, please explain this to me while I'm getting angry for no reason.
Yeah.
This was built for Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, the offense
and we're
was
making
built for Aaron.
An adjustment.
Dude,
It's been 10 weeks.
Okay, so here's what that means is that you call a play, whatever the play is, and it doesn't matter what it is, inside zone to Brees Hall. The system it moves. They have things called cans. You hear this all the time. If you listen to the audio broadcast or you just listen to a game, you'll hear a quarterback go, can it. He's changing the play. Right? Meaning they had two plays called. The first one, you go, if you don't hear anything, if it says can, it's the second one. Right? So you check out of a bad play into a good play. Or you just easy. I don't know what the code word is for the Jets, but they easy, and you get into something completely different. Right? They trust Aaron Rodgers to do that. So you can call a bad play, but this quarterback's going to make us right? He's going to get the formation correct.
Right.
He's going to slide the protections the right way, so he's never going to get pressured from a side that he's not expecting. And this is the cat and mouse game. So we talk about the cat and mouse game often between offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator. Like that's what we do with the Jets right now. We had this conversation before the Jet-Giant game, Wink versus Nate, like how they're going to do this. And you saw Wink jumping around the defensive line doing all these different things. The real cat and mouse game is defensive coordinator versus quarterback, right? But when you do that with Zach Wilson, the defensive coordinator always has the advantage.
So why you do that with Zach Wilson?
Meaning, I'm talking about the competitive, like the competition. A defensive coordinator calling something that's going to confuse the quarterback, and the quarterback sitting up there figuring it out. Like, oh, okay, you're trying to zone dog me.
But why are you allowing him to change plays at the line? Maybe you shouldn't allow him because he's not Aaron Rodgers.
Because sometimes the play is so bad, and that your tendency tells you that you're going to run this play. The defensive coordinator knows, so he runs it. He creates or calls a defense that's going to specifically stop that play. The game is the quarterback fixes it. Like he sees it. Oh, we can't run outside zone because they're bringing two doggers from that side.
But is that what he means by this offense was built for Aaron Rodgers?
Yes, that's what he means.
Well, but Aaron Rodgers isn't here anymore, so shouldn't the offense be built in a different way now? It's been 10 weeks. Shouldn't there be an alteration because Zach is not Aaron Rodgers?
Yes.
Why hasn't that happened?
Two reasons. One, the offensive line is in constant flux, so you can't call plays. Like you simply can't call plays when your tackle is playing guard or your guard is playing tackle or your center is playing guard. You can't do it because they don't know what to do, right? You tell them, we're going to change this protection. We're going to slide this thing left. Lucky, right? And he's like, all right, what do I do? Do I stay on the guy in front of me or am I sliding down to the guy over the center? And then we're like, it feels like it's easy because we see people do it and it's like, oh, that's so easy. He changed that protection. It's simple, but it's really complicated because if you change one thing, hell, if you misidentify the Mike linebacker, you screw up the back, right? Mike's 53. In fact, it's actually 55. The back goes and blocks the guy outside of 53. 53 comes unblocked. So, like, there's little things like that are complicated. It seems easy, but that's what Zach is struggling with. And I know Zach is struggling with because he told us this is what he's struggling with.
I get it, but it's tough to hear that, hey, this offense was built for Aaron Rodgers. It's been 10 weeks.
Yeah.
He's clearly not coming back, or at least he wasn't coming back. We don't know if he's coming back. More on that later. And to hear that excuse after 10 weeks is tough to hear. It's not Aaron Rodgers' offense anymore. It should have changed already.
It's just the reality.
But
it's just the reality.
But if Aaron Rodgers was never here, what would the offense be?
It wouldn't be this. It'd be very different.
So you need a whole offseason to change your offense?
Yeah. You'd see a lot more probably outside zone, or mid or outside zone run game, which allows you to do play action. You'd see a lot of bootlegs. You'd probably see some zone read. You'd see different things in what Aaron Rodgers isn't doing outside zone, right? He's not going to just run and chase and hand the ball off to a running back to do play action. He doesn't need that, right? His play action happens with his hands. Like you saw this on Hard Knocks. You remember it's like, dog, did you see that play fake? Remember that on Hard Knocks?
Yeah.
We were talking about play fakes?
Yes.
That's how Aaron Rodgers mimics what most teams use outside zone for, which is reach and reach and reach. Oh, I'm actually pulling that back, right? We're throwing the ball. You think I'm reaching. Aaron does it just like little things. And he can do those, and he can turn around, and he can have someone coming down, the barrel of his neck, and he can flip it out and get it out. Zach can't do that stuff. And so this offense it doesn't suit Zach. And we know this because he doesn't execute it well. But what Robert Saleh is saying is that he's actually starting to get a little bit better at some of these things, right? You see it. You see it because he throws for 260 yards, even though 92 of it came on the last 2 drives. But you see it. Right? As opposed to, man, he's going to throw for 112 yards today. Yeah, they ain't even getting to the red zone. Right? It's incrementally better. It's not good enough to be winning football, but it is incrementally better.
Centimeter by centimeter. We'll come back.
If there was one thing that I would change,
yes.
If I was Nate Hackett or advising them, well, there's 2 things. You need to have PAMs, penalty assessment meetings.
Yes, we need the PAMs.
You need some PAMs. Make 20 minutes a week. Penalty assessment meeting.
Like the girl from The Office, Pam.
30 minutes a week. Everybody goes, and everybody gets embarrassed or doesn't because they didn't do anything wrong. But most people are doing stuff wrong. So
I love that the Bills lost last night because of a penalty. That made me feel better.
Yeah. Pam, thanks. Thank you, Matthew Smiley, for having 12 men on the field. That's the special teams coordinator.
Okay.
But that is one, and I forget what I was saying. But number 2, they need to make things easy for Zach in the red zone. Throw the ball in the end zone.
Yes.
Get 2 players going to corner routes. One, getting to the pylon. That's the front of the end zone. Corners, pylons. Make easy throws for Zach, but throw them into the end zone.